Gospel and Homily for Sunday 10C. The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Jesus went to a town called Nain, accompanied by his disciples and a great number of people. When he was near the gate of the town, it happened that a dead man was being carried out for burial, the only son of his mother, and she was a widow. And a considerable number of the townspeople were with him. When the Lord saw her, he felt sorry for her. "Do not cry," he said. Then he went up and put his hand on the bier, and the bearers stood still. And he said, "Young man, I tell you to get up." And the dead man sat up and began to walk, and Jesus gave him to his mother. Everyone was filled with awe and praised God, saying, "A great prophet has appeared among us. God has visited his people." And this opinion of him spread throughout Judea and all over the countryside. The Gospel of the Lord. On the sanctuary walls of St. Michael's Chapel in Rivelin, here in Sheffield, 3 paintings depict Jesus raising Jesus from the dead. Lazarus, the daughter of Jairus, and the widow's son of Nain. The 4th one has Peter raising a person to life. These risings from the dead foreshadow Christ's own resurrection and ultimately ours at the end of time. Death is the due punishment for sin, but since original sin has been washed away in baptism, our true destiny is to live forever with God and share his life forever. St. Paul says that our true homeland is in heaven. He also reminds the Galatians that the gospel which he preaches is not a human message, but has been revealed to him by God. I think these days there's a great danger that we might overly concentrate on what is human and transitory in place of that which eternally endures. This even happens at church services, I think. I get the feeling that the liturgy of the Mass, slowly but surely after Vatican II, moved more towards the human than the divine. Gregorian chant, for instance, went out the window, even though the Church never sanctioned this, and silence throughout the Mass became practically non-existent. Pope Benedict, through the introduction of the revised Missal in 2011, laid emphasis on restoring the balance. And I noticed that a few weeks ago, Cardinal Sarah, who is the liturgical watchdog in Rome, suggested the priest should not even hesitate to say Mass ad orientem, which means facing east and with his back to the people, apart, of course, from the liturgy of the Word. Vatican II never forbade this. Earthly liturgy is meant to be a foretaste of the heavenly liturgy. This comes out particularly in the singing of the Sanctus, or the Holy Holy. All the angels and saints in heaven unite their voices with ours in proclaiming and praising the glory of God. By raising people from the dead in his lifetime, such as the widow's son, Jesus was reassuring us of life beyond this present one, something we should never forget. Remember the harrowing story of the foolish bridesmaids. Fools in the gospel are not those intellectually challenged, but those who live their lives without thinking of God or their ultimate destiny. Psalm 14 put it succinctly. The fool said in his heart, "There is no God above." Even at Catholic funerals these days, the emphasis seems to have moved away from praying for the happy repose of the soul of the deceased to celebrating their past life. I get the distinct feeling that church funerals are becoming less Catholic and more humanist. We're not saying you should say nothing about the deceased, but the Church actually advises priests not to give long-winded, over-the-top eulogies when they're giving their homily. To me, I think that makes a lot of sense. One of the prefaces for the Master Lens sums it up poignantly in these words: "May we so deal with the things of this passing world as to hold rather to the things which eternally endure." If we take these words to heart, we can't go far wrong. Thank you for listening, and God bless you all.